us for this Q&A session, and congratulations to you all. You did such an amazing job. I'm quite emotional right now. But first of all, you gave us so much light and warmth in this performance. What you did was amazing. I was telling Vlad from school after I went out of the room that I just feel like I'm happy to be alive and to be here to be watching you on stage. So congratulations for that. My first question is for you actually. So you made this performance out of a lot of textures. You play with lights, with sound design, so good, with textures, and all of this is linked to the universe seen through a microscope. So tell me about your vision and what motivates you, your reason behind this performance.
I think, I guess my motivation was the real life story and seeing the work of the microbiologist James Weiss, who is a real scientist and he shares his work online. And actually I'm not really proficient in science, but I really was excited about the idea of using science as a mechanism to understand art and making theatre. And so I think the visual and I think the big thing that was inspiring for me was this idea of scale. I'm kind of fascinated by that problem and was it kind of how would we do something really tiny on a big scale and play with that. So I think that was my biggest kind of exciting starting point. I think I was really excited by someone's life story that was really about hope and curiosity and love, and I think we need more of that on stage, so that was, I think, a big starting point for me.
And also, throughout the whole performance, but especially at the end of it, I got the feeling of being so happy, being alive, especially because you dive into this universe by discovering yourself, putting yourself on a microscope, and that way discovering and exploring the world. And how is it for you in artistic field? How do you see this? Is it exploring first yourself and then going out in the world? Does it help you?
I would say, yeah, similar to you. The catharsis that we seek to give people. It's nice because it's a show that actually feels joyful to do, and there's such a nice journey of it where at the end of each show there is a reckoning. There's a realization with James being alive within the universe. So I'd say first and foremost it's just exciting to experience that each time I do it. That's what I would say.
Yeah. No, it's like what Ben was saying, it is really fun to do. And just that transfer of energy, I think that's why the show, for me, I always feel it because it's a response with the audience, if that makes sense. And it's just that energy that flows that I just love, and I just love it. I love the roller coaster. I love the journey of it. And yeah, like you were saying again, it's just that experience of life through all the ups and downs and the PTSD, and playing through all of those things. You just find that journey, and it's just so exciting to do, but it's so exciting to engage with people because it's theatre's for people, so it has to be there has to be a relationship. So yeah.
And yeah, actually, I think I've been, because we've been kind of, the show, its first form was a year ago. We did it last summer, and I was surprised at just how hopeful people felt, because it is such ostensibly it's a quite traumatic play, and heavy themes are explored, but it is beautiful to me that each time someone walks out of it, my brother's seen a few times, and every time he walks out he just feels rejuvenated. So it's very pleasant.
And for you, how does it feel? What, could you repeat the question exactly?
I'm wondering if, firstly, by reading yourself and by discovering yourself, you kind of shape your theatrical, your artistic discourse that way. First and foremost, by looking at yourself, because this is the feeling I got after the show.
That's really interesting. I feel like I don't. I feel like I'm really interested in other people. So it's for me. It's like I find it really exciting putting someone else's life underneath a microscope, and I think I'm not sure how much I put in myself as hope in the show. I think for me it's like really exciting what each individual is bringing of themselves, and then in that kind of piecing together everyone making a new kind of whole. But I don't know. I think it's subliminally like finding its way, or like maybe it's like putting my hope for the world into the show. But I think I don't know.
I want to add in, Hope mentioned at the beginning about like how microscope and the theater is very similar in terms of when the lights on the stage. Everything discovery from the stage, that when all the incredible things, all the unseen things are lit up and the actors are here, and then which is similar logic as the microscope. That's how I understand your story.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. That was probably one of the things that was most exciting to me, because I was like really excited about that idea of like, you turn on a microscope and you look through it and you see something alive coming dancing in front of you, and through that that experience of looking and observation, it sort of changes your perspective or how you feel as a human, because you're like, whoa, I'm so big. And so for me that is just akin to that, to the experience, or to what you hope an experience of theatre is that the lights come down and the story unravels, and in that process of observation you're changed in some capacity.
And my last question is, how was your researching process for these performances?
I was really lucky because I got to interview James Weiss, the person that's based on. We did like extensive Zoom calls where he was so generous in telling me about his life story and the details of all the trauma, and that was it was really important to me that I was very gentle about how I was portraying this trauma, and I wasn't like making it entertaining or I think I'm always interested in the kind of ethics of experiencing this trauma on stage. So I really wanted to understand him, and I think talking to him was one of the biggest points of research. But then I think my research, they just come up with things and deliver.
So I think we can open the discussion to the public. So please, if you have any questions, curiosities, feel free to tell us about.
Hi, congratulations. It was, I really enjoyed your performance, and just before my question, I wanted to say that I also, I think it made me realize just how much we need these kinds of performances that are uplifting and that are also showing us this side of humanity, because humanity right now is so, I think we tend to concentrate on the bad parts of it, and it's also valid, and it's so important to talk about that too, but I think it's so important to remember also that humanity is also this. Yeah, that was a really powerful thing for me to realize. So thank you for that. Yeah, my question is in regards to the images and the actual projections. How did you come up with them? How did you come up with how you create them, like piece by piece? Because I really loved how you played with the perspective of it. And yeah, I was curious about that whole process from the image to the actual making of the image in the performance itself. Yeah, thank you and congratulations again.
Thank you. Yeah, this is a really good question, and I'll pass it on to Enzo, who's a fantastic designer who really crafts the images that we start to make through fantastic improvisations and bringing in lots of random objects that seem insignificant and like rubbish. Like I remember Phoebes once brought in a broken piano keyboard that she found on the street or things like that. So I think, yeah, I would pass it on to Enzo because she's really the image maker.
Well, thank you so much for my feedback. It was really hard for me to well, I guess in the beginning, it was also like Hope's imagination of like, oh, overhead projector, we need to use this for the microscope. This is our microscope for our stage. So I guess from the time we just rummaged all the prop store there when they're all in London. So we literally found every single object that can be seen under the overhead projector. So for the daily object that we could find, we were testing it, I guess. And then we are making lots of image libraries with the stories connected to James Wise. James Wise himself is a microbiologist, but amazing storyteller. He finding this micro images and then he inspired by them, and then he connects a story with those videos, images that he's discovering. So from there we were like, this life story that he went through, all the traumatic events actually encourage him to look into the nature and then connect that into his natural instinct, into interest into nature and then microbiology. So we wanted to use that of like small little scale, and also I'm the designer in caution, like making lots of 1 to 25 little scales. So that's also my life too, in the miniature scale, bringing to life, I guess. So there are lots of things that I also bring in with the tools that I have, and then they are bringing to life, reacting to that. And it was just a whole collaboration, I guess.
So when we first, I think I love this story of like, you know, there's the big tree at the back where it becomes the big tree. When we first of all got together to make this piece of work, I had asked them each to bring an image that they felt like reminded them of or they felt like this story was about. And Elijah took a photo of this tree that he'd been sitting under, and he brought it in, and we always had it on the side of the wall of the rehearsals. And then one day Enzo brings it in as something we can put underneath the microscope, and then that becomes our tree. So it's a really organic process of just receiving what they're bringing and then refining and working like that, and adopting an ideology of laboratory, like a science experiment. So we have what happens if we put this and this and these colours and this thing, and what does this look like? And yeah, it's just thanks to like lots of experimentation, curiosity.
Hello, congratulations for the show, it is really amazing. My question is about the dance performances. I don't know if I'm right because I'm not a connoisseur about it, but I think I noticed some cramp moves. Do you dance cramp, or did you work with a choreographer, or how is your approach to the choreography of your show? Thank you.
I guess with the dancing, specifically like a crump style. Again, that's another thing that just came organically. I personally was just dancing like that before, not like professionally, but just dancing and moving. And also the school we go to is very big on movement. So we all had like a baseline relationship with like our body and how like the shapes we can make. And just because now we've been doing this for a very, very long time, like after rehearsals, and obviously we'll be playing music and warming up, and we're just moving around, just kind of similar with a microscope. With our bodies, we're also just trying stuff out, moving our bodies in certain ways. And then we found that sort of, that crump nature for the earthquake, which again kind of came just organically. It just kind of came just like spontaneous, like, oh, it just makes sense. Those two types of like movement and the story we're trying to tell, they kind of blend together perfectly. So yeah, I think all of us had that baseline relationship to movement. We never danced before, like professionally, but we all moved in school, so we all had a relationship to like the quality of movement and like the story we're trying to tell within the dancing. So yeah.
There is anyone else who wants to say something to the team? If not, thank you for staying and congratulations again. And see you for the next day.